Hey everybody, it's Shutterstar and Crystal here for another review of Supergirl. This time it's Supergirl Lives.
Even though for the bulk of the episode, she wasn't really Supergirl because she didn't have powers.
Also, what's the title? Like, I get it, it references a comic title called Superman Lives, but in the context of this episode, what's the relevance? I don't know either, but like, this is an interesting one because, again, for the most part, it didn't connect to any major overarching stuff except for the tiny bit at the end.
Yeah, because there was this bit as they were running away where they could have shot Mon-El,
Yeah.
and the Dominator said not him, and then at the end someone showed up and said, where is he?
So, well, the interesting thing is, apparently, they originally weren't going to have the aliens be Dominators, but then they realized, well, why spend money working on a 3D model when we already just made a 3D model for Dominators? So they figured, screw it, we'll just use the Dominators. It's a nice bit of continuity, especially since their ship looks a lot like the Dominator ship at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like the fact that they use the Dominators one more time, which is nice too. Also, yeah, even though this takes place after the crossover, there is literally no reference to the crossover whatsoever. Oh, I suppose, except for that one line when Supergirl sees the Dominators.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I kind of wish, for Supergirl's sake, that they cut out the scene in Medusa where Barry shows up. Because again, they repeat it. So, you know, if you didn't have that scene, you could have watched last episode and this episode, and you'd never know the difference.
Yeah, whereas if you're only watching Supergirl, you see last episode and you think, what's going on with that? And then you see this and nothing.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. If they didn't include that scene, nothing would have changed. Because, yeah, the invasion plot has no impact on Supergirl whatsoever. But anyway, it was a nice little fun self-contained story. I enjoyed it because it was mostly about Mon-El more than anything.
Yeah.
Because obviously, first you've got the ending with Mon-El and you've got the Dominator spearing it. But then, of course, you've got, like, Kara teaching him to, be brave and face a greater good, whereas he was often like, let's just go back, let's just do this, I'm not going to be a hero until the end.
Yeah. But yeah, it was interesting, like, when she was just letting them hit her, and I'm like, is there a plan to this, or are you just stupid? But then eventually the other prisoners caught on, and they were like, oh, hey, they're distracted, strength in numbers.
At least Mon-El finally has a job. He works at the bar, which is good. At least he got a job.
Although, he took the day off on his second day.
Well, Mon-El is...
And he doesn't know what a club soda is.
Did nobody train him?
No, they're that desperate for staff.
I guess. I do like the little bit at the end where, like, they're sitting on the couch and Mon-El shares the blanket with Kara.
Yeah.
And, some people took it as a shipping moment, but apparently, like, the writers, or at least the director, said it was more like, you got to think Mon-El doesn't know anything, so, he just copies Kara because that's what you do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He sees a blanket over her, he's like, okay, this is what we do.
Yeah, I know. So that's a nice little touch. Also, for some reason, Roulette was in this episode. I guess I get it. It's like she didn't play a huge part, but it's a case of, well...
It does make sense that she would be
True.
involved with the human trafficking.
And it also makes sense of, like, you could have easily done the episode without her, but you figured, well, why have a nameless new person when you can have her? So, it's another case of why create something new when you've got something old that works just as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, again, I kind of like it. And I guess she's still trapped on the planet. Spoiler alert, you'll never see her again. It's like,
Well, she's stuck.
maybe the people looking for Mon-El came and killed her too, because they killed that one guy.
Yeah.
But, and of course, this episode was also a big episode for Wynn, because he got injured in some Guardian stuff. Guardian didn't play much of a part, it was all about the other stuff, but,
Yeah.
it was just to set up the plot with Wynn being
if
scared.
Wynn wants to avoid getting injured, instead of being in the van, he should be somewhere else.
Yeah, I know. Why can't he just be behind a desk like Felicity?
Yeah, maybe he thinks... I don't know. Maybe he thinks he needs to be close to the action, but, like, can't he just, like, use traffic cameras and stuff to watch over what's going on?
I don't know. Funny enough, the last Arrow episode we saw had Felicity out in the action and punching somebody, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, this was an enjoyable episode that was self-contained, and I kind of liked it, The thing about Season 2 is, after the whole Cadmus stuff we had, the main plot, if you can call it that, doesn't kick in for a while. There's a lot of kind of self-contained episodes.
Yeah.
The only thing we had was the cliffhanger, but I don't believe it plays in. It's not going to play into the main plot of next episode. I don't know what happens next episode, but yeah. I'll give it just an 8.
Yeah, same. I'll go 8. It was still pretty good.
It was still a nice, enjoyable episode, and sometimes I found that sometimes you don't need to have an episode be involved with the grand plot to always be exciting or amazing.
Yeah.
It was a good way to, give Monel a story, give Win a story, all that stuff, and I enjoyed most of the little plots they had throughout the episode.
Also, we had stuff with her reporter boss who, it just makes me realize, well, most of the time I don't like him, but in the end, she had a good story. He should run it.
That's what, exactly. And that's the thing I like is, Snapper isn't a guy who is likable, but he's always kind of right.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. He didn't say anything wrong in this episode in my mind.
Yeah, because at first, it did seem like, well, yeah, why should we...
Well, it's also just don't make promises you can't keep.
Yeah.
Even if they were going to follow up on the story, you can't promise that will help her.
Or more like, don't make promises that aren't yours to make.
Exactly.
She said, we will help, as in representing Catco. What she should have said was, yeah, I'll get James to tell his friend Supergirl. Supergirl will help. Don't say we Catco will help, but you can say Supergirl will help.
That's the thing. I like having a dynamic when you've got a character who is right but isn't likable, because that's more fun than having somebody be likable and right, because sometimes the best or smartest people aren't likable in a fun, friendly way, because he's not like that. But he's never really wrong, especially especially if you see it from his perspective,
Yeah, at that part, she shouldn't have made a promise that she couldn't keep, and she shouldn't have made that promise on behalf of Catco.
And even in the end, though, you can see that he's coming around on her, which is still good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, what's the next episode called?
We Can Be Heroes.
Well, I have no idea what happens next episode.
Oh, also Maggie knows.
Oh, yeah, Maggie knows about Kara or whatever. Who cares about her? Whatever. But, yeah, I enjoyed this episode, and I have no idea what's going to happen next episode.
Well, Monel wants to be a hero.
That's true, so I suppose that ties in with the title.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, we can be heroes because Win said to James at the end, I'm back in this.
That's true. Like I said, it was kind of a mixed episode between both Monel and Win finding their footing, if you will. Yeah.
He's not the red shirt.
Yeah, I know.
Start the car.
There was a lot of fun little moments throughout this episode I enjoyed.
Monel has some of the best lines.
I know, Monel is so good in season 2. I found a lot of people when they were first watching season 2 had mixed feelings on Monel. Yeah.
I've been liking him at this point, but maybe it's because I haven't seen everything, but I've seen little bits of the future, and I don't particularly like what he becomes, but maybe I'll grow to like it when I see it become. I
like Monel. I don't like some of the plots that will encompass him.
Good point.
It's not so much Monel's fault, it's the plots that will encompass him later on, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I enjoyed this episode, so we'll see you next time for more Supergirl and other things as well.
See you next time, guys.